Bathsheba claimed that Darlie Routier slept downstairs because the house had no air conditioning and it was hot. Okay, you can look through. Look, I looked through a lot of the videos. You can see air conditioning vents behind Aaron and Darlie. Right here, when I walked past it, when I came around here, I noticed right away and mentioned it in my video. A walk and talk around the Routier house. Look at timestamp 13:30. Let it run for about 8 seconds. And I said, wow, two air conditioners? Now, those air conditioners are not, they have been in that same spot since 1993 when they built it. Two air conditioners. One for the downstairs and the other one to run the upstairs. That's why they do them in duels. I want to show something else here really quickly. This was taken in 2024, March of 2024. Now, when I went through there, I walked right up to about right here. And I could see that this cement was up. And then it's still a problem today with it grinding the bottom. And you can see that the lock is still a problem today, even with the new fence. Even with the new fence. But you can see that piece of that slab right here. I can't, the arrow won't let me show you, but it's right there. You can see how it's raised up and it's not right. That's why the gate slid. That concrete was not laid right. That's why it hit the ground. There is a video, and I'm trying to find it. If I have to do it, if I have to continue to look and look, there's a video of Devin and Damon in their little white Porsche electric car, and they're about right here, and Jonathan Gorsuch is behind them, and right in front of them is Darren's barn, but you can see in between Darren's barn, and the air conditioners are there. If you see that up there, tell me. Like I said, Bathsheba said, and they come up with some strange stuff. Bathsheba said this house had no air conditioning. Matter of fact, let me show you so you don't think I'm full of shit here. I don't want to do that. It's hard for me to understand why people that support Darlie come up with this kind of stuff. They didn't have air conditioning. That was originally one of the numerous reasons why Darlie preferred to sleep downstairs. First of all, let me address this. Darlie's only reason for sleeping downstairs was because Drake moved and rocked in his crib and made noise. Darlie said it, and Darren said it. There were no numerous reasons. But if you want to get technical, the reason she was downstairs on that couch is because she cut her husband off. They were having marital problems. She didn't want to sleep with him. Her wedding ring was found within the 14 pieces of jewelry that were sitting in plain view of any intruder. Her wedding ring was off. Besha said that they had been fighting all week. So my response, I'll just put it here because, I like to toot my own horn sometimes. That's ridiculous. Why would you have $12,000 drapes but no air conditioning in a house you had built from the ground up? So they lived there 3 years and the no air conditioning didn't bother for all that 3 years, but the last week she also lived there. I also looked up the weather that day. On June 5th, at around midnight, it was 70 degrees. Wasn't sweltering hot. Think about your statement here. Darlie had a $6,000 watch, but no air conditioning. Her husband drove a Jag, but no air conditioning. They could pay Karen Neal's house note, but no air conditioning. Cruises to Cancun with her friend, Julie Clark, but no air conditioning. I would say that someone who forces their kids to live in a house in the hot Texas heat with no AC is neglectful. They had AC. Then I explained. In the case, the prosecution used the noise of the running air conditioning to explain why Darren might not have heard anything. Now, let's take a look here. Let's see if we can tell anything by this. I don't know if we'll be able to or not. Okay, there's a different air conditioning unit right there. That is the original. There's two of them. That is the original. There's one right here, one right behind it. Air conditioning unit right there. Right here is where James Cron stood and said, but there's the air conditioning unit. I guess that lady that bought the house updated the old one. There's two of them right here. It did have the layout of the house, but it went away. Well, I'd like to see that. Oh, that's not a layout of that house. I'm trying to see if we can find out anything about the interior. They might have stopped with the interior pictures. Something went wrong on their end. Now this is the house in 2023 before it was purchased by the lady that has it now. You just slide right on down to here and do your little research before you make comments, before you make uneducated guesses. Bathsheba, no offense. Do you think that they would put two fireplaces in a house in the hot Texas heat, but forget to put in the central air? I can't believe you made that comment. That house has got central air. It's always had central air. And then you came up with Darlie's multiple reasons for sleeping downstairs. Now she had one reason. Please feel free to correct me. Have a nice day. Okay, it's not wanting to let me show it now.